Yo, what is going on, you guys? Today we are back and we are going to continue reacting to this video of the internet's darkest corners. Okay, we started watching this video. Alright, I don't even know when. It feels like it's been a long ass time since I reacted to this video. Alright, but we're gonna react to it again. Okay, I think this video first part came out like 2 days ago, or 3, or 4, or 4. I don't fucking know. Alright, but yeah, we're gonna continue reacting to this. Alright, if you guys remember, we left off on the Snapchats with Luke with the plane crash. Okay, that one was sad, and yeah, it was just tragic, bro. It was tough, bro. What happened? You feel me? But alright, this was English with Luke. Alright, English with teacher Luke.
Add ed at the end of irregular verbs when making them in the past tense. That's only for regular verbs.
Is that
This is
true?
Luke Rockwell, or some of you may know him as Teacher Luke. Raised in Melbourne, Florida, the now 29-year-old was introduced to a wide online audience around the time that
Okay.
TikTok began exploding
like
in
a real
popularity
teacher?
in the United States. The premise of his account seemed simple enough from afar. Luke was an excellent speaker and used his understanding of the English language to create short-form videos centered around proper pronunciation and phrasing.
Do
Okay,
not
I like his
say,
glasses.
Explain me or explain you. Instead, you should add the word to. For example, I'm going to explain to you.
Teacher Luke's account had immediately
Yo, I didn't
become
know
an
that, bro.
asset
Thank
for
you,
foreign
Teacher
speakers
Luke.
to better understand the language. Though this wasn't all the account consisted of, as he'd also post a variety of other mildly interesting travel-related videos.
Okay.
Top countries that are the most
Dangerous.
dangerous to travel to in the year 2022.
And
Uh-oh,
at some,
guys.
he even
Damn,
took a go at
2022.
making some more comedic-based content.
I didn't realize until I came to Thailand that I hate Thais.
That was just like straight racist, bro. That wasn't even funny.
It's just too hot, man, to wear them around your neck.
Oh.
But none of these were the
Wait.
reason that the account grew to the
That wasn't
size
even
it did,
racist. I think it was
as
talking about.
initially,
Yeah, I don't
his
even.
page was followed by nearly 3 million TikTok users, thanks mainly to his more edgy content, leading to some clips that I'm certain some of you have seen before.
Nah, I've never
How
seen
do you
this.
say this word?
It's actually pronounced
Today, I'm
Niger.
going to teach you 3 different ways to say this word. Some have a hard R and some do not.
Negro is the common word used to call black people in Thailand. When I first moved here, I was shocked to hear it because in Western culture, it's a pretty offensive word.
It's hard to label this content that thrust Luke's page into the spotlight.
Cock?
But I guess it could be described as baiting his audience into thinking he's saying something problematic, but instead making it a loosely educational moment, thus vindicating himself from anything he said. Like I mentioned before, these videos were definitely edgy, so much so that in 2020, his page was actually terminated by TikTok, thus leaving him all the way back at square one. Undeterred though, he kept on creating, launching a new account under the username English with Teacher Luke, and within only 1 year, it had already gained over 1 million
Wow,
followers
1 million
back.
followers.
1 million followers on this account. Thank you guys so much. It's so crazy that 1 year ago on my old account, I hit 1 million on the same day.
His content was seemingly inevitable,
cool, bro.
with each video being primed for virality. But what many might not have known was that his passion for the English language, as unserious as it may seem from these videos, reached far deeper than just the online world. In 2019, Luke packed his bags and moved all the way across the world to Thailand, where he would use his love of the language to get a job as an English teacher, working with students from K-12 while simultaneously having a flourishing career on TikTok. All factions of
That's
his
pretty cool,
life
bro.
were
He
thriving.
moved to Thailand? I
and
thought he
for a
didn't like
moment,
Thailand.
it
He
seemed
didn't just say he
everything
didn't
in
like
his
Thailand,
world
bro.
was going right.
Alright, everything was going
How
right.
could he ever
Okay.
fail?
Yeah, exactly. How could you fail, bro? How could you fail?
A U.S. teacher and TikTok star accused in Thailand of having sex with a teenager.
Bro, are you serious?
Luke Rockwell was released on bail after he was charged in Bangkok with luring a minor for indecent purpose.
Bro, like
With
how,
one
bro?
article, one
It's the ritual. It's a
headline,
part of the
facade
1 million
English
ritual. I'm
teacher
pretty
Luke
sure that's why, bro. Apparently,
crumbled.
everybody when
But
like
how
when you hit
did
1
it all
million
go
subs,
so wrong? And what
talk
exactly
to a minor,
happened that
do
led to his
stuff with a minor,
arrest?
bro. That's the ritual.
Well,
Apparently.
it started shortly before the news broke, when a 16-year-old living in Bangkok visited her doctor's office, complaining of intense stomach pain and discomfort.
Oh,
After
no, she's
administering a
pregnant.
series of tests, doctors would determine that the girl had contracted not just one, but 2 STDs, with her only
Okay.
partner having been
Okay.
Luke Rockwell. Her mother was furious upon the
No way the teacher
revelation
has
and
AIDS,
immediately
bro.
took her to the police, where a full investigation
Bro,
was
how do you have
done,
AIDS,
revealing
gang?
some truly damning information. It was discovered that before the pair had met up for the first time, they had been messaging back and forth for roughly 5 months. And during this time, Luke lured her and eventually convinced her to sleep with him. And while this is horrible enough, some agencies actually reported that the girl was a former student and had become a
What
fan
the
of his
hell
content,
is
which
wrong?
led her to reconnect with her former teacher, insinuating that the grooming may have stemmed back even further than just those 5 months.
Yeah,
But I need to
wow.
note that I was unable to find any solid proof of this, so take these reports with a grain of salt. But what is known for sure is that while they were seeing each other, Luke asked the girl to keep their relationship private until she had turned 18, so as to not turn any heads. And during this time, Luke never mentioned having STDs, and instead he promised the girl that he was clean, even lying to the point that he had showed her a copy of his medical history, which was likely either forged or completely out of date. Luke's actions were heinous, and his words were that of a man who knew he was doing wrong, yet actively trying to get away with it anyway.
That's crazy.
And if all these charges weren't horrible
Actually
enough,
could have gotten
the
away with it
investigation
if
into
he was
Luke
clean,
revealed
too.
one final
That's the
proverbial
craziest
nail in his
part.
coffin, as the investigators had discovered undeniable proof that these alleged encounters had taken place. Proof that came in the form of video recordings that were all done without the victim's knowledge. Following the discovery, Luke was arrested and his TikTok page was removed once more.
Yeah,
But despite
good,
the evidence
bro.
for these charges lobbied against him, it appears that Luke isn't actually in prison, at least not yet.
Where is
As
he,
after
bro?
quickly making bail, some internet users claim that they've seen him around Bangkok, enjoying his life and acting as if nothing happened, even posting stories on what appears to be his secret private Instagram. I was unable to find any updates outside of this, making it unclear whether
Wow,
Luke is still
man.
on bail, if he's been taken back into custody, or if he ended up beating the
dropped my
charges.
glasses.
So for now, it's
Shit.
uncertain how Luke's story will end. But it's still disheartening to know that his presence is still looming out there in the shadowy corners of the online world.
That's so... Like, how did he not go to prison for that, bro? Did he even get charged? Alright, next part, I guess, bro. Vanishing of Hooks New. Did I say that right?
October 25th, 2022. The bell rings throughout the halls of the Jiuan Middle School in the Yangtze province of China,
What is this, China?
marking
Yeah.
the start of another
I knew it,
class
man. I
period.
recognize, like, Chinese,
Jiuyuan was not
Japanese
your
names,
standard
bro.
middle school. For starters, it was massive, stretching roughly 600 acres around, and it featured dorm rooms where the students would stay full-time, sometimes even being accompanied by their parents. And on
Dang,
top of
that's a
this,
big
the huge
school, bro.
complex was guarded and enclosed by a large wall topped
Damn,
with
is it a
barbed
prison?
wire. It was certainly a
Jeez, bro.
unique place, to say the least. But as the nearly
That's
3,000
huge.
students across the campus piled into their different classrooms, one student failed to take his seat. 15-year-old Hu Xinyu.
Oh, nice.
The teacher waited 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, growing more and more annoyed at the boy's tardiness. However, this annoyance would slowly turn to worry, as by the time the class period had ended, there was still no sign of the boy, prompting an immediate campus-wide search.
Why is that
Yet
bad,
he
though?
was nowhere to be
People
found.
could just, like, ditch,
And
you know?
most chillingly, there was no record of him leaving out of the
But
school's
that's probably
guarded
not
exit.
normal in a...
Confused, staff
China
checked the
schools, I
campus
guess.
security footage, where they would find Hu walking out of his dormitory, heading in the direction of his class, which was located in a building no more than a few hundred feet away. Yet he never made it there.
What?
Instead, the campus cameras revealed a blind spot of only 10 meters between his dorm room and that class building. A blind spot that no student, and likely no faculty, aside from maybe a select few, could have known
Oh.
about. And yet, within that blind spot, Hu had vanished into thin air. In between these buildings was a path that led to a large park on the premises, in which many assumed Hu had probably slipped into. But when police
What?
checked the area with their tracking dogs, their search
Tracking
yielded
dogs?
nothing.
Wow.
So they took things a
Just
step
gone?
further, this time doing a deeper search of the campus itself, even looking into septic tanks and water tanks,
Dang.
checking every square inch. But
Yeah, gotta
again,
check
no
everywhere.
trace of the boy was found. All they could
Vanished,
uncover
bro.
was his cell phone and other personal belongings that were left behind in his room, with the only object of his missing being a small recorder that he had purchased a few days before. It was believed that at
They
the
found
time of
it?
his disappearance, that recorder was literally the only item he had taken with him. Somehow, this young boy had disappeared within the tightly watched walls of his school, with there being no sign of him on campus and no evidence that
Damn,
he had
bro.
ever left. Despite the
of
fact that
impressive if you think
China
about it,
and
that he
this
was able to
area in
escape.
particular is blanketed in cameras, seemingly watching every single inch, but Hu was nowhere. It was as if the school had swallowed him whole.
Wow, that's... But that's
Shortly
not...
after his disappearance, Hu's mother began desperately posting to Douyin under the account Xinyu's Mother Searching for Son, where she begged the public for help in finding her missing child,
Dang.
with the clips of these plaintive pleas sparking immense interest from a vast number of people across the web. leading to the case immediately exploding in popularity. Popularity
good
that
that it
only
got
continued to
popularized.
grow as new disturbing information began to surface.
Come on,
It
bro, did they
started with
find
a
him? Let me
revelation
know.
made by an internet user in China who mentioned that Hu was not the first student to go missing from the school. In
What?
fact, these disappearances were becoming
3 more
seemingly a
people?
yearly occurrence, prompting immediate
Yearly
speculation about the school and their potential involvement in these disappearances. With the school becoming more suspicious as reports
Yeah, why? Yeah, why? Dude, lo estaba buscando, no sé dónde están. Dude, yo ni lo miré, no lo escondí o nada.
began emerging that once police had arrived, they realized that there was data missing from the CCTV cameras, with many of the
Oh.
cameras on the premises conveniently malfunctioning on that specific day that Hu had vanished,
Wow.
almost as if the footage had been deleted afterwards. But not before one of the guards had supposedly snuck a video, which he claimed exposed what really happened that fateful day.
Come on, what happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? Okay, I can't really tell what's happening. Oh, wow, okay. Looks like there's a guy examining him. Okay.
I'm not
Why
sure
would-
if I'll be able to show it here, but the grainy CCTV footage shows what looks to be a young boy, lying limp before being placed onto a stretcher and carried away.
Yeah,
With many
that's-
online taking the clip and running with it, claiming adamantly that it was Hu and that he had clearly been kidnapped. And this wasn't the only supposed recording of the incident, with the other evidence coming from the recorder that Hu had been carrying. But although at this point the device was never recovered, one internet user claimed that it featured a cloud storage system, in which he was able to hack into and access Hu's final recording from that day, with this clip being even
no
more
way.
disturbing.
Let's see what it says, bro. No way, bro. Holy crap, dude. What the heck?
With all these
bro?
claims and supposed evidence making their way across the internet, everything seemed to point to Hu's disappearance as being one massive conspiracy, one in which the school was not only
So-
working to cover up, but also seemed to actively play a role in. But why? What was so special about Hu that made him a target? Well, one account from a supposed
Yeah,
student
right.
of the very same school stated that before the boy had vanished, the school held a mandatory health evaluation, where Hu's blood was drawn, revealing that his blood type was P. And if that doesn't sound like any sort of blood type you've heard before, it's because it's one of the rarest in the world, as in China, only about 1 out of 1,000,000 people have it. Because of this, it was claimed that Hu had been killed in order for his organs to be harvested and used as a transplant for a local official who shared the same rare blood type.
That
The
could
story
be a
was
possibility,
compelling,
bro.
and with the school's suspicious history of disappearances, people in the area began to protest at its gate, demanding to know what was going on, to which the principal and the staff lashed out in anger, acting crazed as if they had something to hide.
那更不能放过你。
我就知道，
我告诉你，你已经惹上我了。
我也不会放过你。
which only added further fuel to the fire. And with all these disturbing accounts and details coming out from all across the web, the fire raged more and more intensely as the theories grew wilder and wilder. Until
Yeah, bro. Oh, is this like footage?
January 29th, 2023, when a man
Yeah,
walking
footage.
his dog stumbled across the body of Hu Xinyu as it
Oh!
hung lifelessly in the woods, alongside a brick wall
my
just
gosh.
barely 60 meters away from his school.
16
Next to his body
years
was the
away.
voice recorder that had multiple audio messages stating his intentions to end his own life, which was done using his own 2 shoelaces.
Shoelaces.
In the time since his body was discovered, lots of new information has been brought forward by officials, who sternly stated that both the recording and the video of Hu had been completely faked, along with a variety of other
Fake.
details that the press had leaked, and that an autopsy revealed that he had no
Fake.
injuries other than those that were self-inflicted, and most importantly, that the body included all of its organs. It was also discovered that his journal revealed that he was more troubled than many had believed, and that he was going through a difficult time, with his grades suffering drastically,
Aw,
leading to
damn,
these dark
that sucks,
thoughts.
man.
The whole case was honestly a mess, and especially the coverage during the height of its popularity, as it's now clear that people were simply making up stories and even evidence, which the media ran with without question, leaving us in a strange place where it's impossible to tell which stories and which details were actually real. But to this day, the case still remains polarizing, with many continuing their suspicion of the school and their involvement, with the most common argument being that the school had been searched over and over and over again, and yet no one saw the body. Along with this, many have taken exception to the idea that Hu could have carried this all out with just his shoelaces, as he was there for over 3 months. Could they really have supported his entire body weight for that long without snapping? Well, some people actually tested out the strength of these shoelaces to see for themselves, leading to various degrees of success.
来，1、2、3。大家伙，咱们看一看啊。
Prompting the theory that Hu's body was somehow planted there afterwards, or that it wasn't even him. So despite this case technically being closed and the investigation now over, it's still very much alive here in the online world, where people continue to question what exactly happened to Hu Xinyu.
Wow, bro. Damn, we're never gonna know what happened to him, bro. Alright, guys, well, I just got the chills from that one, okay? And I think we're gonna end the video up there. There's one more thing that we're gonna react to. Not today, though! Ha!